All right, so today we're gonna pop the hood on a viral masterpiece and really figure out what makes it tick. Let's get right into it.
Everything, and I mean everything, kicks off with this one number. And it's not just any number, right? This is the promise of a totally different life, all packed into 7 figures. It's such a simple but insanely high-stakes hook that just grabs you from the very first second.
And there it is. That single sentence is the engine for this entire thing. It sets up a premise that's pretty much guaranteed to get your attention. A regular person, a subscriber just like us, going up against a global icon for life-changing money. It's the ultimate underdog story, all wrapped up in one simple challenge.
But it's not just about Ronaldo. The whole video is actually built like a gauntlet, a series of these seemingly impossible David versus Goliath matchups. It just keeps building the tension and hammering home that core idea with one superstar after another.
So first up, you've got arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, a guy with 7 Super Bowl rings facing off against Jake, a high school player. I mean, the gap in skill and experience here, it couldn't possibly be wider.
Then, get this, we're over on the baseball diamond. Here, you have one of the most lethal hitters in the game, a 2-time MVP, and he's up against a kid named Big Justice, who we're told has been, quote, terrorizing his little league. It's kind of epic and adorable all at the same time.
And if you thought that was wild, this next one is just completely absurd. The fastest human being on the entire planet is pitted against Jonah. Just my friend, a totally average person. This is where the whole premise just leans into how ridiculous it is, and it's brilliant.
So you're watching all this, right? And you're thinking, wait a second, this is completely unfair. There's just no realistic way they can win, which leads all of us to ask the most important question.
And that right there is where the real genius of this formula kicks in. It's not actually about the crazy matchup itself. It's all about how the drama is so carefully, so meticulously engineered. It's not about luck. It's about making it a fair fight.
So how do they do it? Well, it all comes down to one clever tool, the handicap. This is the great equalizer. It's the secret ingredient that takes what should be an impossible blowout and turns it into a nail-biting, genuinely competitive event. And just look at how each handicap is perfectly tailored to the challenge. For Tom Brady, Jake gets to aim at smaller balloons. Noah Lyles gives up a massive 60-meter head start. For Bryce Harper, the home run fence is literally moved to half the distance. Every single tweak is designed to make that underdog victory feel not just possible, but actually genuinely within reach. But see, the formula goes even deeper than just evening the odds. To make a video like this really work, you have to make the audience, well, you have to make us care, no matter who wins.
This setup is absolutely brilliant because it creates this perfect win-win scenario. If the regular person wins, their life is changed forever. If the pro athlete wins, a huge chunk of money goes to a great charity. So no matter what, a positive outcome is guaranteed. That keeps you emotionally invested from the very beginning to the very end. And that personal investment, that feeling, it's captured perfectly right here, in this quote from Big Justice's dad. Suddenly, it's not just a contest anymore, is it? It becomes this powerful, super relatable family moment. You're not just watching a kid swing a bat, you're rooting for a family. Okay, so let's get to the grand finale and see how all of these pieces, the impossible premise, the clever handicap, the emotional stakes, how they all come together for the ultimate showdown. And then, you won't believe it, it actually starts to happen. The subscriber Khalid somehow gets a commanding 2-0 lead against one of the greatest athletes in the history of sports. That $1 million prize is suddenly right there, totally within his grasp.
The handicap is working so well that even the superstar himself has to admit a comeback seems unlikely. I mean, when Ronaldo, one of the most confident people on the planet, says no, man, that just electrifies the tension for that final shot. It's unreal. And then, boom, the payoff. The underdog wins. This moment is just this massive emotional release, the perfect, feel-good climax for the whole event. The formula did exactly what it promised it would do.
So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway here? Well, we can actually distill this whole method behind the magic into a repeatable 4-step formula for creating a viral spectacle. This is the blueprint, right here. You start with an impossible idea. Then you level the playing field to create some real, genuine drama. You make sure the audience is emotionally invested in every possible outcome. And then you deliver a spectacular, satisfying finish. And that really just leaves us with one last thought. Understanding the formula doesn't ruin the magic.
If anything, it just changes how you appreciate the magician. So now that you know the blueprint, what other impossible showdowns would you want to see?